the best you can do? Well, sit back, and I'll tell you about tough. I used to work for a dude who was so mean, he'd make you puke. You know the kind so sick that they make you sick? Well, the dude couldn't be everywhere at once, so he called for help on really rough assignments. Only the baddest, meanest, toughest, rottenest employees would get the call. And it was always the same guy who'd get the call. A guy who'd make Schwarzenegger, Stallone, and Van Damme look like the Three Stooges. And guess who that tough-as-nails worker was? I'll help you out. It was I, humble little old Violator.
Give me a break.
Please, save your applause for the end.
Feed us another line, you fat little loser.
Ha! Oh! Surely you're pulling my leg. You wouldn't be so insolent if you knew of the legend you now face. I'm part of history, kids. Thousands of tales tell of my prowess, but none have gotten it quite right. Tonight, I'll graciously honor you with the truth.
Listen, old man. We ain't got time for this kind of crap.
You tell him, Clint. We want fairy tales. We'll go to the movies. That's where real men live. Right, Spaz? I'm with you, Mark. Let's blow out of here. This dude's wasting my time.
Now, boys. I gave you the courtesy of hearing about your heroes. I ask only for a few moments of your time as I tell you about my adventures.
Eat my shorts. Come on, guys. Let's get out of here.
Why, you little punks! No time for anyone but yourselves. You know I should kill the whole lot of you. But I kind of admire your pussy attitude. Reminds me of myself. So I'll buy you if I have to.
Whoa!
Awesome! Is that all?
Shut up, Spaz!
Okay, old man, we're all ears. Is this counterfeit?
Silence! My tale begins. Over 800 years ago, there lived an evil wizard. His soul was as dark as coal, and the inhabitants of the surrounding lands feared his very presence. The evil wizard had, after all, gutted many innocent folks. Men, women, even babies. Few were immune to his barbaric ways. Permanent stains of blood etched across his battle gear. He kept the people in check by using the strongest force on earth.
Money?
No, boy. Fear. Wherever he went, the citizens fled. Those left behind cowered in his shadow. The isolation drove him mad. Riding on the back of his black demonic horse, he inspired oft-repeated story. One told of men trampled, 100 at a time, just so he could laugh at their blood-curdling screams. Chaos reigned supreme. It was said that he derived great pleasure as well from watching others do battle. His twisted way of unwinding. One such incident brought the region's ruler of that time, King John IV, into conflict with a neighboring territory. While the two armies struggled, the Dark Wizard stood idly by, watching gleefully as the raping and pillaging of each town grew more frenzied. He seemed to take pride in his apathy.
No harm shall come to this town! Not while I live!
The people grew to hate him more and more as he stood by doing nothing.
So why didn't somebody ace him?
That's easy. They're all chicken. No one had the guts to stand up to him.
Wrong! My boss handpicked me to go take him out.
You're 800 years old. Oh, please, spare me.
Quiet, Clint. I want to hear this.
I accepted my assignment without hesitation. The people of this village welcomed me into their homes. These willing townsfolk all opened their hearts to me. Every last one. The night I arrived, we ate like kings. It was a feast, the likes of which had never been seen. Narrator had finally arrived. Word of my presence spread quickly. I soon visited the surrounding villages. I wanted to assure them all personally that I was now their sworn protector. They need no longer fear the evil spawn wizard. Not while I was around. A few days later, I heard of a man who had been beaten by the wizard, and yet lived. More importantly, he knew where the wizard was headed. I did not hesitate to visit this poor, courageous man. After gathering the information I needed, I made sure his wounds were properly taken care of. Armed with the knowledge of his whereabouts, I carefully mapped out my strategies on how best to encounter this wicked nemesis. Rushing into battle would only weaken my position. I needed to strengthen myself, hone my abilities. Every village made sure I would be well provided for. I had their complete cooperation in my task of finally ridding their lands of this dark hellspawn. They gave me everything I could possibly need. Finally, I was ready. All I needed now was a decoy. Someone that even the most disgusting human being actually cared for. And I found her. The wizard's very own evil, ugly, wart-faced, wicked witch mother!
Hold it right there. Let me get this straight. You're 800 years old, used to be a lean, mean fighting machine, and you fought wizards and witches?
So exactly who is this boss of yours? He's gotta be pretty powerful himself to keep you alive all these years.
Surely you've all read the Bible.
Whoa! You mean you're one of the God's disciples?
Please, get with the program. Here's a clue. Recall the other direction?
Hell, I feel good!
New York City's Police Department, 12th Precinct. Specifically the Office of Detective Sam Burke and Twitch Williams.
Please, sir. Watch the ribs.
I hope Chief Banks is dying of an ulcer. We shoved it right up his rear. God bless America.
They've just gotten word that they are officially cleared of any wrongdoings, following an investigation into the death of child killer Billy Kincaid. The pair can now resume their regular duties on the streets without further delay. 2 weeks strapped behind a desk drove Sam almost completely bonkers.
I love winning. Well, Twitch, you know what I'm gonna do first, huh?
Yes, sir. Find our hero in the red cape.
Bingo! The investigating board didn't know anything about him. With us cleared, they're antsy to find out what really happened. Maybe we can help them out a bit.
Yes, sir. May I suggest we start immediately? I could use a little overtime. By the way, sir, you have a donut squished to your ass.
As night falls upon the streets of New York City, the alleyways are the first to be engulfed in the slinky blackness. Here in the grungy bowels of the city, the homeless begin their time-worn nightly ritual, stake and claim. Though they own nothing, these disenfranchised occupants of the Bowery's byways take great satisfaction in selecting their sleeping quarters. Some spots are had by luck, others by tradition. The best places are usually gained with bribes of liquor or through physical conflict. Whatever the case, this is one of the few activities for which these outcasts feel any kind of passion. They may have lost many things in their lives, but pride is not among them. In more recent times, a new player has entered this game. He has quickly earned the respect and loyalty of those he lives with. Though it took him nearly 8 days to return from Africa, his choice of resting places is undisputed. The pecking order endures. Sheltered away in his new resting spot, Spawn can reflect calmly on his actions, considering what went wrong and why. Another sleepless night. It's becoming predictable.
How could I be so stupid? I've let anger dictate my actions. Chapel now knows I'm alive. Up till now, my greatest advantage was my death. No matter what I did, I was clean. No one would think that a dead man was responsible. They've been chasing shadows and red herrings. But if Chapel talks, I'm screwed. Big time. At least I've had my revenge by branding his face with that stupid skull mark permanently. Even makeup won't stick to it. He's a walking horror show. Good. I didn't want to be the only one. What now? Do I sit around waiting to see if he opens his big mouth? Forget it. Time's still on my side. It'd still take a couple of months for anyone to track me down. I'll just have to cross that bridge when I get to it.
Take the next left, Twitch. Kinda said there's a high density of them down that back way.
Yes, sir.
I've heard our Cape Vigilante might be involved in other slayings.
How do we know he's not involved with the government's Young Blood program?
We don't, but even if he is, they don't give privileges such as manslaughter to their agents. We've got ourselves a pure and simple wacko.
That I'll agree with, sir.
Good, now let's get going. Chances are, our little hero split town. If he was smart, that is. But I've been one to give criminals abnormally high IQs. Well, look at what we've got here. A regular convention or something. Twitch, this might just be our lucky day.
It's night, sir.
Evening, fellas.
Whoopee, it's the Fuzz!
Fuzz, sorry to break it to you, but that term went out 15 years ago. Though I don't suppose your steady diet of drugs and booze has made you any kind of Einstein.
Please, sir. Let's be pleasant about this.
You're right. Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? My partner and I are looking for a possible new acquaintance of yours. He wears a cape which is red. He can somehow make dead bodies appear in my office. Other than that, I'm sure he's perfectly normal. Ring any bells?
Nope. Nope.
You're nuts, cop.
Lost in thought, Al turns the corner of the long alleyway. Quickly, he snaps back to reality and decides to wander aimlessly elsewhere. No sense in a confrontation.
Huh? What the hell? Twitch, did you see that?
You know, now that you ask, I do remember, some guy that I think he...
Get out of my way, old man, before I run you over!
Spawn's friends create just enough of a distraction to help his escape.
Damn! He's gone! I swear this guy leads a charmed life.
Al Simmons would consider that to be a very bad joke.
So anyways, it was time for me to hunt down the Wicked Witch. She was 100% evil. The very sight of her would make you scream. Fangs grew from her black lips. Piercing red eyes sank into a face spattered with warts and cuts. Hideous doesn't even begin to describe her. And she was powerful beyond belief. She could control the wind and rain. Even the creatures of the forest listened to her commands. And how she loved her son.
I'll await your return, my prince.
I shall come back in haste. Keep thee well during my absence, sweet darling.
If I could only find and capture this cold, sadistic woman, I might have a chance of killing the spawn wizard himself. She would be my decoy. It took 3 days of travel to reach her castle. At her doorway, I fought 20 or more monsters, which barred my path. I won, but just barely. When I reached the witch's cavern, I was momentarily overcome by her magical powers. Fortunately, she had willed a portion of them to her son. Even in my weakened state, I was still able to best her and escape with my life.
Please, God have mercy.
This legendary fight has been acclaimed over generations as the turning point in my crusade to kill the spawn wizard. It took days, but finally I determined the whereabouts of her son. Even in captivity she fought, never giving up. In some twisted way, I almost admire her stamina. I had seen thousands of men who fought less gallantly. When at last she succumbed, I took her with me as I set off after her son. The time had come to face the Black Wizard. A brave messenger delivered a note to the Hellspawn, telling him of his mother's capture. The letter spoke of a challenge, a fight to the death, winner take all. The Spawn Wizard accepted, 'cause, to tell the truth, he was a big mama's boy. He couldn't stand to see his mother in the hands of the enemy. So we met, face to face, man to man. What took place that night is the reason the word heroic exists in the dictionary today.
You coward. Hiding behind this woman's skirts. I shall kill you.
He trembled at my very presence. I told him that I would not leave before collecting the heads from he and his mother for my trophy case. This obviously didn't sit very well with him. He tried to reach his mother, but I blocked the way.
Face me with honor, you devil's toy.
Prince, help me!
I know why you've been sent. Your master wishes to test me, to see if I am fit for his army. You tell him I will not be scared by the likes of you. We are both pawns in his eternal war with heaven. But I will not be toyed with.
So began our heroic battle. Good versus evil, to the death. His strength and agility surprised me at first, but I had to remain focused. Any distraction could cost me my life. I had to fight with all my senses, acting as one. Our war raged on for what seemed like an eternity. The very ground shook with our every move. Do you ever stop? However, I could detect exhaustion creeping unbidden into the Spawn's sword arm. He backed me up against the tree line, hoping that I would try to flee. Then, with all the darkness that hid in the forest as an excuse, he could say he lost me in the shadows. Obviously, he grossly underestimated my grit and determination. Quickly, I made my move. The fierceness of my attack caught him completely off guard. I had him on the ropes. At one point, I'd lost track of him. He had vanished into the forest.
You are very good, trickster. Now show yourself. I'm tired of this game.
When I saw that his wicked mother was tied to a tree, I knew he'd have to return.
I said step into the moonlight, you spineless whelp!
So I waited calmly.
Strike now, demon.
I turned at the sound of his muffled voice. He stood by a great oak, almost defying me to react. Well, I didn't want to disappoint the little pusshead. Besides, he had it coming. Mustering all the strength I had left, I directed everything into one last fiery blow. I barfed a maelstrom of acidic flames, full force, into my hated enemy. Without moving a muscle, he caught the full onslaught of my blast as I continued to vomit death. I could only laugh inside. The Wicked Witch was left to watch, horrified, as I French-fried old Sonny Boy.
My prince. No!
10 minutes after I stopped, his armor still glowed red-hot. When it cooled, finally, I checked inside. And do you know what I found?
Beavis and Butthead. Good one, Mark. Maybe it was just a very tan wizard.
Yeah, or maybe a big pile of crap. Who cares? Come on, guys, let's get out of here.
But boys, this is the climax. I'm almost done. Just a few more minutes. Oh, okay. Here's another $5 each. You happy?
Beauty, all right. What did you find?
Diddly! I had completely disintegrated the poor sucker.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to become part of the House Simmons Army. Also, follow the Twitter for more updates. Malibolgia, just you wait.